Hi, I'm the Tax Geek, and here are more of your taxes, oversimplified. This is the first in a series of videos on vehicle expenses, and in this video we're going to focus on using the standard mileage rate for determining deductible vehicle expenses. People routinely use their personal vehicles in ways that allow them to deduct their vehicle expenses from their taxable income. You may use your personal vehicle in conjunction with a business or a rental property, or for personal medical or charitable purposes. The explosion of the gig economy in recent years has led to many more people using their personal vehicles for business purposes, and this has generated quite a bit of confusion over what expenses are deductible and which ones aren't, how to calculate the deduction, and where the deduction is reported on the tax return. Although you can deduct the actual expenses of operating the vehicle, using a standard mileage rate simplifies the calculation of the deduction and requires far less record keeping. And even if you do deduct actual vehicle expenses, you still have to keep track of miles driven for business, because that is how the expenses are split between business and personal use. The standard mileage rate changes annually and reflects all the typical expenses of operating a motor vehicle, including fuel, insurance, maintenance and repairs, as well as wear and tear on the vehicle. As of the publication of this video, the standard mileage rate for using a vehicle in the production of income is 56 cents per mile. Lower standard mileage rates are used when you use your vehicle for personal medical or charitable use, and those rates are currently 16 cents per mile and 14 cents per mile respectively. I've also thrown in the standard mileage rates for 2022 to help future-proof this video. In addition to the standard mileage rate, any direct expenses of operating the vehicle, such as tolls or parking, may also be taken as a deduction. So when is mileage considered deductible? To be deductible mileage, the primary reason for making the trip must be for a business, medical, or charitable purpose. Here are a couple of examples. Fred drives from Charlotte, North Carolina to Memphis, Tennessee to visit family. While he is there, he stops by the rental property he owns in Memphis to check on it. The trip from Charlotte to Memphis is not deductible mileage, however, any mileage from where he is staying in Memphis to the rental property and back is deductible. While Wilma is out doing her regular grocery shopping, she picks up a prescription at the store's pharmacy. This is not deductible since the primary purpose of the trip was grocery shopping and not picking up the prescription. However, later in the week, when Wilma visits the store to get a COVID-19 booster shot and picks up a couple of items at the store while she is there, that trip to the store is deductible. Your commute is never deductible. Commuting is defined as traveling from home to your usual place of business and back, but mileage driven while working is deductible. As an example, Bill is an attorney who maintains an office separate from his home. The daily trip from his home to the office is not deductible, but if Bill should use his vehicle during the day to make a trip to the courthouse, that mileage is deductible. If you have no usual place of business, as would be the case with a rideshare driver, the mileage from home to your first passenger pickup and the mileage from your last passenger drop-off back to home is not deductible, since the IRS considers it to be your commute. All the mileage in between is deductible unless you make yourself unavailable to take new riders. Taxes for rideshare drivers has been discussed briefly in this video on the gig economy and will be explored in depth in another video. In order to be able to deduct any sort of vehicle expense, the IRS requires two things. 1. A contemporaneous log of your eligible mileage, and 2. Independent odometer verification that those miles were actually driven. To be contemporaneous, the mileage log must be completed as the miles were driven. This can be in handwritten or electronic format. If the log appears to have been reconstructed or created all at once from memory, the IRS will generally not accept it as proof of miles driven. The log must contain, for each business-related trip, the date of travel, the miles driven, the destination of the trip, and the purpose of the trip. The easiest way to track this information is to use one of the many smartphone apps on the market that use the phone's GPS to track mileage precisely. All you need to do is tell the app when you're driving for business or personal purposes. Some of these apps are shown here. In addition to tracking mileage, many of these apps will also assist in tracking your business expenses, which can be very handy. The apps shown are just examples of what is available, and no endorsement is made of any of these apps. These are all iOS apps, but similar apps are available for other platforms as well. Also required to prove your deductible mileage is independent odometer verification that shows you drove the vehicle at least as many miles as the miles you're claiming. I recommend to anyone who claims a mileage deduction on a tax return to take a time-stamped photo of your vehicle's odometer on the first day of the year and keep any service records for the vehicle that show the vehicle's mileage. Deductible vehicle expense can be recorded in several places on your tax return depending on the purpose of the miles driven. How to actually enter the vehicle expense on your tax return will be explored in another video. Of course, this video only gives a brief overview of the subject of vehicle expenses. Additional information and resources can be found in the video's description. If you found this video informative, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more content. Please share this video with anyone who would find it useful. You can direct any questions, comments, or suggestions to the comment space below, or email me at taxesoversimplified@gmail.com. For announcements of new video releases and occasional tax tips, please follow me on Twitter at TaxGeekUSA. Thanks for watching, and I'll be back soon with more of your taxes oversimplified.